wheelchair full-time is legitimately like being in the Truman Show situation, but instead of the Truman Show, you're like stuck in an early 2000s episode of What Would You Do when you're just spending the entire day waiting for John Quinones to pop out and say that it's staged, but it's not staged because it's real, and also nobody's gotten better since the early 2000s, and it's now 2024. So I have a lot of stories, so let's talk about some of them. One time at my old job, I was like very visibly working, and like, yeah, I want to assume I don't assume the best of people, but like, I don't fucking know, okay? Because no, quite frankly, it's like a context clues rave up in this bitch. Honestly, I am wearing a fugly red vest. I am wearing a name tag. I am putting on clothes on racks and all that bullshit, okay? It's not a shot in the dark, and this bearded ass man slithers on up to me and is like, squats down. Do you need any help, hon? Bitch, ditto! I could say the same thing to you, pedestrian. What are you doing in my store? Get out of my store. I'm getting paid minimum wage to be here. Thank you very much. Are you? Anyways, I do want to know if he thought, like, he walked away from that interaction thinking that he got the heaven points that he, like, was seeking. So, who knows? This one isn't necessarily a question, but it has happened multiple times. But this one stood out to me in particular, so I'm including it because I had this one lady tell me that I inspired her to want to make a change in her life for the better. And like, I too am greatly inspired by a Red Ed college student going into a dining hall, like on the prowl for salt and vinegar chips, but I don't know if it's the same reasons that she was inspired by me, personally. I want to know no, I know what it was. But I want to know what she walked away wanting to change about herself. I do. I don't have any fucking clue what she saw about me and was like, shit, that's what I gotta improve on. Another just like weird ass comedic interaction by now that I've had is with a bus driver at my school who has a nickname, which I'll fucking reveal at the end, which you'll see why. But man didn't really know how to work his bus very well, and it was like a whole thing before we got to the point. But the funny parts happened when I was inside, because I do think it's legally required for wheelchairs to be secured to the transit station, like hooks, transit hooks in buses in America. I don't know if it's everywhere in America, and I know it's different in other countries, but I don't fucking know. But this man didn't know that, so he goes, okay, brakes on, hold on tight, I'll drive slow. And I'm like, shoddy. And I don't usually do what strange men tell me to do, but I fucking did it. I held on to a fucking pole for my dear life, and this man rides like the wind through campus. Very much not slow. And so I'm like, you know, he's like listening to his music, he's chilling, and I'm like flying around like one of those shits outside of a car dealership in the wind, in his back mirror. And so we get there. He deploys the ramp the wrong way, first time, front of the curb, take two, it's fine. Second time, it's 90 degrees, like a little it's drop off, it's cliff. Because he doesn't lower the bus either. So I'm like, oh, dude, bro, like, I want to get off this bus just as much as anybody else wants to get off this bus. Probably so much more. But that's not happening. That's like 3 curbs. Like, bro, no. And I was pretty new to my wheelchair. So he looks at me and he goes, oh, no. And I can see by the light in his eyes that he has a plan, and it's not a fucking good one. So he hops off, because it's a hop, skip, and a jump off of this bus. And so he gets off and he looks up at me and he goes, I'll catch you. Bitch, this is not Dirty Dancing. This is the bus. His name is now Catch Me Guy. Cause what the fuck? And also by 90 degrees, I meant like 90-degree drop off, like an angle. So yeah. Yeah, no, but thank you for asking, because people say the weirdest motherfucking shit, and I can probably make this a series because it took way longer to just say like 3 than I thought, so.